Roblox Obbying is a huge genre of Roblox games that challenges players to complete difficult obstacle courses using the Roblox physics. And since the genre is so huge, many communities have been created. Either it's some very well-known communities like the Tower of Hell community, which is the community of Roblox's most popular obby. But there's also very underground communities that have incredible skill but are unknown by a large part of the Roblox community. And even communities that take it one step further, challenging themselves in unreal ways. In this video, we will cover some of the most unique and interesting obby communities on Roblox. All the links to the Discord servers will be linked in the description. Before we start this video, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe. I'm trying to reach 6,000 subscribers, and only a small portion of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you could hit that red button, it would help out my channel a lot. Anyway, let's get back into the video. Starting with the most well-known community. The Tower of Hell community is a fan base revolving around the popular Roblox obby, Tower of Hell. The game requires the player to climb up a tower with no checkpoints, making it quite difficult for new obbyists. Although, this is only the surface of Roblox Obbying, because later we will reach some of the most niche and incredible communities on Roblox. The JTO community is similar to Tower of Hell, but with more advanced and difficult towers. JTO, or Juke's Towers of Hell, is a game that introduces many people to difficult obbies. The game has been played by many popular YouTubers, and is one of, if not the biggest difficult obbying game on Roblox, with the hardest tower ever beaten being Citadel of Infinite Void. The tiered obby community is similar to JTO, but at the same time, very different. These two are the main communities in obbying. The top hardest obby lists consisting mainly these two. Tiered obbies are generally shorter than towers, but their raw difficulty is much higher. The difficulty in these obbies is ranked in tiers, from tier 1 to tier 25. Tier 1 being extremely easy and almost unfailable, and tier 25 being humanly impossible. Currently, the hardest tiered obby beaten is Back There Benjamin. Although, a certain obbyist is working on beating one of the most infamous obbies on Roblox, Stairway to Heaven, having multiple fails at the last jump already. The Top Jumps community is a group of people that look for the hardest jumps ever created on Roblox, looking into completely impossible towers like Citadel Void or obbies like the Trusses, where they can find and verify incredibly difficult jumps. Many of the current top hardest jumps aren't actually found in obbies, but handmade to be the absolute limit of human capability. The current hardest jump beaten being Heavenly Delusion. The difficulty system in top jumps works from 0.0 to 11.0 plus. The current hardest jump being 8.81 and the supposed limit for humans being 9.0. As you might know, when playing on mobile, it's a lot harder to control your character and not mess up, but there's an entire community of mobile players that have made incredible achievements, beating some of the hardest obbies ever built on Roblox, with the current hardest mobile obby beaten being Sun-Darkened World. If you want to learn more about the community, you can watch the YouTube video on its history, linked in the description. Similarly to the mobile obby community, the controller obby community plays on, well, a controller, which requires extreme skill. Many controller obbyists don't actually play on console. They actually get a laptop or a PC to access tiered obbies that don't have console players enabled. On controller, camera control is very difficult, so controller obbyists tend to look for obbies without much of it. And that leads us to the hardest controller obby beaten, Ascension. An obby which was only completed a month ago, and I have a full video on that completion if you want to check it out. As we dive deeper into the obbying world, we're starting to uncover some of the most niche communities on Roblox. One such community is the Korean Obby community, a community that has existed for a while now. While everyone's familiar with the top obby lists that rank the hardest obbies ever beaten, there's another list that has been growing within this smaller Korean community. The Korean Obby community started gaining attention thanks to Junebread, a player who's not only the best Korean obbyist, but also someone who's brought a lot of eyes to the scene through his obby completions. His videos, where he completes some of the hardest obbies on Roblox, have racked up a lot of views. Junebread's skill has made him a standout, turning him into a bit of a legend within the Korean obby scene. The community has its own top obby list, featuring many of the same obbies you'd find on the JTO and tiered obby lists. However, with fewer players in the Korean community, the level of completions isn't as high, but that doesn't make their achievements any less impressive. The hardest obby on their list is Tower of Gunga Ginga, a tower that only a few have conquered. Meanwhile, Junebread is currently grinding back their Benjamin, the top ranked obby in the worldwide community. This shows that while the Korean obby community might be smaller, their dedication and skill are on par with the best out there. For those of you unaware, R15 is a Roblox animation rig that simply means that the character has 15 body parts. Although, in obbying, this isn't used due to its janky mechanics that don't let the player position themselves correctly and make some of the tricks used in obbying completely impossible. But a very tiny community exists that are slowly reaching the limits of R15. Their top obbies are completely different from the regular communities due to many of the mechanics being widely different. The current hardest R15 obby beaten is a time forgotten. While it might not look that difficult if played in R6, the usual obbying rig, it's incredibly challenging in R15 due to the rig's limitations. This community is really beating obbies that most people wouldn't even think to try with R15. One obby that's gained some recognition even among casual obbyists is Arcadia. Created by Plays 2, it's become one of the standout creations in the R15 community. The Key Obby community is extremely tiny. From what I know, a community for it doesn't even exist. Obbyists mainly just post their key completions on YouTube and talk through private messages. But these are basically obbies that aren't played with WASD, but with arrow keys. This makes the gameplay a lot more difficult, disabling the ability to move using the right or left key, since those usually turn your character instead of moving. One of the best key obbyists I do know is Bloody Honors, who has beaten obbies like Skill Test and Junglin with them. Although something a lot more ambitious is definitely possible with enough practice. As I already mentioned, all the communities will be linked in the description, so if you want to check them out, you're free to do so. Anyway, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.